Hi, how are you? Today's kind of a little bit different because you must be wondering what happened to this guy with this new costumes and like jibba and all these my costume new things. Well, I used to really enjoy this costume, and I used to love this costume. And it's summer, and I want to be a little bit free. And I thought probably why not I wear it, because if I don't wear it, then when I'm going to wear it? I'm not going to wear it after my 60 years of age or anything. Let me wear it when I am, alive and good. So I thought I'd probably okay. Let me go and do it today. So don't worry about this costume. I like it. So um, let's talk about this. Emor, the Torah. We were covering last couple of weeks about the Emor, which means the instructions to the Kohanims. Kohanims means the priest. There are a lot of instructions in the Bible, but especially for the priests, there's a lot of priesthood instructions also there in the Bible, which must be adopted, which must be observed. If it is not observed, the priest would be in a very, very difficult situation. They would make it up. Um, if we study Ezekiel chapter 40 and chapter 44, it will give you some kind of a little bit background thing it talks about. What it says is basically that during the temple destruction of the second time, or the first time, when the first time the temple was destructed, and if you read in the book of Ezekiel 40, it says about after 25 years of time. Uh, when they rebuilt the second temple, Ezekiel tells that they didn't build completely perfectly like it used to be, and what they did was they didn't even bring back all those ornaments or all those vessels what they used in the first time with the temple. And even there was structurally there was kind of different things were there. So the prophecy of Ezekiel's in the book of Ezekiel, that prophecy is for the building of the third temple, which is going to happen in future. That's the prophecy it should be considered. But they built a second temple in between, during Ezra repaired the temple and they built it, and then again it was destructed after 70 80s. We all knew about that one. So they didn't do exactly what it was supposed to be, and there were a lot of different procedures being added into the system, and it totally kind of a little bit. But when the third temple is going to be built up, they're going to bring back the same services of Aaron was conducting on those days, and the first temples, the same type of offerings and everything will be brought back. That's the belief that they have it right now. But in order to make sure about these the Kohanims, we already discussed about the defilement of the Kohanims, that they shouldn't be defiled with any dead bodies or anything. And other than that, there are a lot of other things, other rules were there in the priesthood. In the priesthood things, especially they wear the cloth. That's why I wore this cloth today. When they wear the cloth, they should wear, the pure white cloth, and then they have to be very pure. There shouldn't be any spotless pure white cloth, so that they can enter into the holy of holies to do the worshiping thing. But also there were the three phases or three courtyards in the Jerusalem temple. As you know, the holies of holies and the consecrated place, and then also there's the other one place for the common public. There's a place where the holy of holies and all the Kohanims will gather in one place, and then plus there's the third courtyard. So where the third courtyard will be the common public will be meeting, and that's the place that they'll be coming there. But now the person, the high priest or the priest, one who is there inside the holy of holies or doing the thing, he shouldn't be visiting the common public with the same dress that what he was wearing or what he was wearing. So he should not be doing that, because if he does it, it defiles him back again. So he should not be coming, because that respect, that dress respect, that has a more value to be presented in front of God. So it has a absolute, a different respect for that dress that they should be wearing and mingling with the common public or in the other places. It was strictly followed, and it was very, very strictly followed in those days. It does make sense, because when you are presenting to God, it's so holy, not inside, not outside, everywhere it should be holy. You cannot go to God without your unholy beings. That's main thing that I just want to instruct. When we go to God and pray to God, when we talk to God, make sure that we are holy, we are repentant, we are completely thoroughly holy, so that we can really worship God with full heart, and then God will come to us to meet us, the way we are. That symbolically represents, when we go to God, we have to be pure in everything. And also the rules or the laws of Kohanim, it talks about so many other things, that Kohanim should not be getting married with the widow, or some Kohanim should be getting married with the widows. And also it talks about there are certain habits, that they should definitely make sure that they are not defiled of so many other things that what they are supposed to, and that's how they can enter into the Holy of Holies, or the high priest thing, that they can go and conduct the services. One of the things is what happened during the destruction of the first temple. What happened was, one of the things that these people were not being, holy, number one. Not even the holy thing. A Kohanim should be a Levite. There should not be any other Levite or any other person who should be doing in the priesthood thing. So there were a lot of priesthood defilement, and there were a lot of priesthood were there in the places whom they were not even known as a Levite, or came from a Levitical tribe. It happened in those days. That's why they believe that even the destruction of first temple happened because of this defilement of the priesthood there, because of the defilement of all these priests and the Kohanims there. Everybody would started suddenly, going inside and started, doing the priesthood thing. They didn't. Some of them, they didn't even know that this guy was from the, absolutely from back, tracing up from the Levite family. A Kohanim must be Levite. There should not be any Kohanim without Levite family. It was a must. So there was a lot of mixing thing happen. There were a lot of defilement happen, and you should not be drinking. And you see that a lot of priests would, they were drinking and then they were entering. So there were so many defiled, filthy things are happening. That's how, if you read the Bible back in Judges and before Kings and everything, you will notice that whenever the Israel people were going against the nature of God, going against the commandments of God, the mitzvah of God, God gives them into the hands of Amorians or Syrians or Assyrians or Amalecians, or somebody will come and capture the land of Israel, and there will not be peace for another 20 to 40 years, because they will be under the ruling of these people. And then again, after 20 years, there will be some judge will come up, and then he'll go and plead to God, and God will release them. Again, there will be peace in another 20 years. Again, they'll go back again. They're sitting again. They'll give it. But this was a routine there. So that was one of the routines that happened since the Jerusalem temple was, corrupted with the filthiness of the priesthood. God gave this to the hands of Babylonians to destruct the Jerusalem temple. My folks, it doesn't make any meaningful for us. Priesthood is not easy. I'm seeing the people, I could not able to digest the things what is happening in the Gentile community. Each and every street back home has 4 or 5 evangelical people or evangelists or priests. They preach whatever they want. They preach however they like. They do the priesthoodship. They do anything they want in the name of grace. Oh, God is now, those things are gone. We are under grace. We can do anything. Everything is God forgives us, brother. You can do this one. I'm not telling that, the only thing that, that we must be like all bringing all rituals and everything. But, I'll tell you one thing. Bible cannot be rewritten. Bible cannot be rewritten, folks, but it can be reread. That's what I want you guys to do. Reread the Bible back home. Go back. Read the Bible back again. It cannot be rewritten, but it can be reread. Read the Bible back again. Go back and find out all these things and try to connect things up. That is the reason, because nowadays all these evangelical people, new denominations, new churches, everything is getting compromised. They preach anything they want. They preach anything they like. Offering is the main focus. They want to build the churches. Let us build a church in America. Let us buy a church in America, and we'll have our own church. God wants our own church to be built. Folks, I could not believe it. Basically, they are building their own kingdoms. God's kingdom is not built like that. It's not built like that. You go and check it out by yourself. Do not get pulled in, because now the more is given to you, the more is going to get asked from you. Don't be just idle, sitting down and just watching all the messages and listening all the messages. You are supposed to be, involving in certain things. You are supposed to be responsible for what you are hearing and listening and watching or getting the messages. And you know how to read the Bible. You have the Bible with you. You can do it. I was so taken away with the things what's happening in this world right now. It is not right, folks. It is not right. There shouldn't be that the way that people think, the way that the people, do the immersion baptism and this, that, and there is no standardization. There is no certain disciplinary thing is happening. Everything is compromised. Anything you can do is worshiping. Anything you can do is a priesthood. Everybody can do. A pastor can wear his, this dress, and he will be going out and mingling with everybody, and then going into the altar temple or the service. They want to model the same way. Even if you walk into any church, the model is same thing. Like a holy of holy place will be there. Then the pastors will be sitting in front of there is another place, and then the congregation will be sitting. That's a simple, basic model they have. And then they do all the compromised way of worshiping and the compromised way of the the preaching and teaching. My folks, I'm telling to you, there are rules to be followed. If there is no rule, there is nothing that a man can be only, controlled only by the rules and regulations. If we don't follow certain things, we cannot achieve things. This Bible should be looked only through the eyes of Hebrew. Because this Bible was written in Hebrew and Aramaic language, later in Greek and Latin, but this one, the main root is Jewish, addressed to the Jewish people, written by the Jewish people, and the God is Jewish, and the Messiah is a Jewish, and he's going to come back as a Jewish. So this Bible should be looked into with the Jewish eyes, Hebrew eyes. That's what I want you to interpret. That's what I want you to learn from this one. Like, start looking through the words through the Hebrew eyes, what it says. Total different type of interpretations from normal people are interpreting nowadays. Completely, thoroughly interpreting. Totally different. That is what I'm trying to tell you guys. I wanted to look into this one, and because in those days, what they will do, the Jewish people, they used to wear a box in their heads, and then there's a box in their hands. That's how they tie it and they walk around. You know why? That's what the symbol. You know why? That's what the symbol they're telling in the future. There'll be like 666. They're going to be in the foreheads or in the hands. It's going to be tying like this. The why Jewish people are walking like that, because the box what they had was the commandments, is the word of God, his complete commandments, and in the hand in the box that's whatever they do in the commandment. The box was representing the commandments, meaning anything you look in the world is supposed to be looked into through the commandments. That's what they meant by those days. That's what they used to have, the box there and box here. It should be looked into through the commandments. Anything you do, it should be looked into through the commandments. It is perfect or not, it is correct or not. Until otherwise, it's going to be real difficult for us to, fulfill what God is expecting from us. And it does make sense to us. It does make sense to me, and it does make more sense to me. That's why I'm encouraging. If the priesthood things having these many instructions, these many of these many of rules and regulations, how about us? It's more for us. It's way too much. I really wanted to encourage you guys. I really, really, really want to encourage you guys. I go ahead and look into the books and learn into the books. If God is telling to do us, and we are obligated to do this one. Whenever you go to God, make sure that you're holy. You cannot go to God with all your vengeance, and you cannot go, having everything in your mind, and then trying to go to Him, and then try to be something, acting. That's not going to help. It's not going to help. So, Emor is instructions for the Kohanims. Kohanims basically means the priests. Well, I think we have talked enough today with this costume, and I'll come back next time with a different, not the costume, different Torah.